The title of this video is Leadership of the Heart. I do pray hopefully that I might be very cohesive in this video and to explain what I mean by leadership of the heart. There's different forms of leadership in this world, and you can tell what type of a leader person will be by the way their heart is. Is their heart towards serving others, or is their heart towards serving themselves? Is their heart towards power, or is their heart towards bringing hope and peace onto others? You have, sadly in this world, the majority of those in leadership, their heart towards leadership is towards self-gain, it's towards greed, pride, and it's self-serving leadership. It's not leadership to create other leaders or raise people up or to lead by example. It's leadership for self-gain. So the leadership of the heart, the great example I was given of our true leader is in God himself. In God incarnate Jesus Christ, he was a servant king. He served others, and his heart towards his creation was to serve them and die for them. And this world did not understand that. This world, because this world thinks of a leadership as different, and our perception and perspective of what a leader should be is way different than what God is, who is a spiritual leader. He's holy, perfect, righteous, just, and he serves his creation, and we're very reluctant to do that, to love our enemies. The leadership of a heart is the one whose heart towards others, towards the suffering and pain, and to seek to bring peace and joy and love onto others in life. Most leaders do not create life, they create nothing but chaos and destruction. The self-gain and status and the sense of pleasing others to be accepted, it's very status driven. It's more concerned about perceptions of people on them than it is about doing what's righteous. I prefer to be a leader who has a servant heart that does what's righteous and holy, not to be too concerned of what people will perceive me as, because being righteous is more important than being popular. Being a leader that does what's best in people's interests is more important than to do certain what majority of the masses may deem as popular policies, but in fact it's spiritually damaging to the individual and to society and civilization as a whole. To not compromise on your connection to your Creator is very hard in a world that tells you to do that, the world that wants to draw you closer to Satan and away from God. So a leadership of the heart is someone whose heart towards serving others, the heart towards selflessness and sacrifice. Sadly, the majority of the world's leaders are the polar opposites. They have a cold heart. Their heart is very rigid, and if any opportunity they do charity, it's for their own self-gain. It's not to come at a cost to themselves personally. They calculate when it's good for their image, so they're more kind of obsessed with their image of how they're seen by others and not really caring about how they're seen by God. So I do pray that this video will be a help to you. I personally myself desire to be a leader that serves others, and leadership goes in many different roles depending on where God placed you. You can be a leader in a business, you can be a leader in a political system, you can be a leader in a sports team, you can be a leader in a marriage. There's different forms of leadership roles. You have the leadership of the husband to the wife, and then you have the leadership of the wife towards the children. So you have that dynamic as well in the family dynamic. So you have the Christ, the head, then you have the husband, you have the wife, you have the children. So the children, the wife's the head of the children, and the husband's head of the wife, and Christ's the head of the husband. It creates more stability. And then you have leadership in, as mentioned, tons of sports teams, but any dynamic web in business always involves some bit of form of leadership hierarchy. And you can tell a lot by a leader by how he uses his time, energy, and resources that he's given to him, and how well he creates, or does he create balance, does he create peace and order and peace, or does he create chaos and destruction and death? That's the ultimate end result of what type of leader. Is a leader more tyrannical, or is a leader more benevolent? I mean, more concerned with others than themselves. Usually leaders who are tyrannical are very unstable. You could start off with a leader who says he cares for his people or those that he's in charge of, but his heart dictates whether or not that's true or not, or whether or not it's a facade, whether or not he only is interested in power and will say whatever he says just to tickle the ears of the masses so that he gets into power. And the moment he's in power, then he feels whatever he does is righteous because pride kicks in. That's what usually happens a lot with people, that they're not necessarily in their hearts believe that what they're doing is evil, because evil is often paid by good intentions. Like, no one sets out to be like a ruthless dictator, but they end up becoming the very thing they hate, which is a sad reality of how most leaders start off, or they become corrupted. Like, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the difference between us and God is that God is perfectly holy and powerful in the way he is, because he can't be corrupted, but sadly we mortals can be. And unless we abide in Christ, that is what's going to end up happening. And that's why a lot of people, the leadership of the heart is very crucial to understand, because once you understand like the heart of a set leader on things, and to always look for consistency in how he approaches things, which is very important. So I do hope this video was helped you, and thanks for watching this video about leadership of the heart.